911, what's the address of the emergency? Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
I guess we got a pilot at our house, and he says he got ejected. So he ejected from the plane. So we just see if we could get some ambulance, please.
I'm sorry, what happened?
We got a pilot in the house, and I guess he landed in my backyard, and we were trying to see if we could get a ambulance to the house, please.
Okay, so like, how, okay, what is the phone number that you're calling from? Okay, we're getting help on the way. Give me just a moment.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, I'm in the house. I made it in the neighborhood. I don't know what happened. Everything failed.
Okay, are you with the patient now?
Yes.
Okay, how old is the patient?
47. So we had a military jet crash. I'm the pilot. We need to get rescue rolling. I'm not sure where the airplane is. It would have crash landed somewhere. I ejected.
Okay, how far did he fall?
I was at 2,000 feet.
Okay, and what caused the fall?
An aircraft failure.
Okay. Okay, is there any serious bleeding?
I don't know. I can't see myself.
No, you look fine.
Okay.
You just couple scratches.
What did the other person say?
I feel okay. My back just hurts.
Okay.
Has there been a report of an airplane crash?
I have not seen any come up yet. Okay, what part of the body was injured?
Ma'am, I'm a pilot in a military aircraft, and I ejected, so I just rode a parachute down to the ground. Can you please send an ambulance?
Yes, sir. I've already told you they're on their way. I'm just required to ask these questions while they're en route.
I really don't know what to make of this 911 call, but it really sounds like to me this pilot had no control of this jet. Now, I did pick up a few things on this 911 call, and one of those happened in the beginning. The man calling 911 tells the dispatcher the pilot got ejected from the jet, and then he corrects himself and says the pilot ejected himself. I may be looking too deep into this, but I find that such a bizarre thing to correct. Why does it matter to the dispatcher whether the pilot got ejected or ejected himself? Either way, he came out of this jet 2,000 feet from the sky. And the reason why this narrative is important because there is so much mystery as to why this pilot ejected in the first place. The only thing that truly makes sense is when the pilot was auto-ejected from this jet and this man found him, or he went to this house, he told the man in a frazzled state, "The jet ejected me." The pilot radios back to base and tells base what happened, and base tells him, "You can't tell anybody you were automatically ejected from this jet," because now we're looking at a possible national security issue. And my guess is that this jet was hacked and this pilot was tossed out. Because what sudden emergency would arise that would cause this pilot to eject out of this jet that continued flying for another 60 miles? And anybody in the military will tell you, do not eject from a jet with autopilot engaged. So it sounds like he had no control whatsoever over this jet, which then sounds like this jet was hacked, which really is a realistic scenario because China does have a base in Cuba, and a flight for a jet from South Carolina to Cuba wouldn't really take that long at all. So technologically speaking, the United States' most advanced jet is now in the hands of an enemy. I know there are some people that are going to say the F-35 is not the best fighter, and while that may be true, it is still the most advanced jet that the United States has, which makes it even scarier. The news already let us know that this jet has stealth technology that is very advanced, that it can't even be picked up on the mainland. It can't be picked up in normal radar. So the enemy has this stealth technology that our radar cannot pick up. And I'm sure this jet has other technology that will be replicated that will allow the enemy to easily come into the mainland. So this pilot and this man has to stick to the story that this pilot ejected himself, because we're looking at a real issue here if he did not. Because if this jet really did crash in South Carolina, the stealth on this jet is so good that you can't even see the debris where it crashed, Matter of fact, you can't see a crash site anywhere. You can't make out what looks like a crash site. They got that Wonder Woman type of stealth ability. And let's be honest, who knows if China even hacked this $100 million jet, the world's most advanced jet. It was possibly given to them because the elite really want this world war to pop off. War is good for money, it's good for business, it's good for the pockets. Just look at World War II. These very few elite families were funding both sides of the war. They really want this next war to be catastrophic, and it will be, so they can usher in the 2030 agenda. This war will happen because those who rule from the shadows want it to be. People were asking me what do I think is going to happen on September 22nd, September 23rd, and my response is I do not believe the world is going to come to an end. But if anything is going to happen, it is possibly China invading Taiwan, which will set off World War III. To believe that, all you have to watch is what they're regurgitating in the news. China sends over 150 fighter jets to Taiwan the same day that our F-35 goes down in South Carolina. Now, here you go. Here's something for September 22nd. Taiwan says Chinese movements abnormal, flags amphibious drills. Could China invade Taiwan on September 23rd, setting off World War III? It's possible. Taiwan's government is saying China is acting rather abnormal. And then we have here in the United States on October 4th, a national emergency alert drill. Think about it. Why wouldn't China invade Taiwan before the 2024 election? Now is the perfect time. Look at Biden. Biden is playing his part. He looks terrible on the national stage. He's bumping into flags. He's talking like he has dementia. Just yesterday, it came out that he gave an entire speech. And then he repeats the entire speech immediately after he finishes, word for word. Then he has another speech where you can't even make out what he's saying. And then at the end, he says, okay, I have to go to bed now.
There's famous lines from movies that he always quotes. You know, and one of them is there's a movie about John Wayne. He's an Indian scout, and they're trying to get I think it was the Apache, one of the great tribes of America, back on the reservation, and he's standing with the Union. So they're all on their horses and their saddles, and there's 3 or 4 Indians in headdresses, and the Union soldiers. And the Union soldiers basically saying, the Indians, come with me, we'll take care of you, everything will be good. And the Indian looks at John Wayne and points to the Union soldier and says, he's a lion, dog-faced pony soldier. Well, there's a lot of lion, dog-faced pony soldiers out there about global warming, but not anymore. All of a sudden, they're all realizing it's a problem. And there's nothing like seeing the light. If you don't have a game plan, he may have a game plan. He just hasn't shared it with me. But I tell you what, I don't know about you, but I'm going to go to bed.
And what Biden's doing, he's putting on an act. Remember, before the debate with Trump, he was mumbling his words. He was stumbling over himself. And then during the debate, he comes out with this super intelligence. This man is putting on an act to get these countries to invade. Because America looks weak. The president looks weak. America looks weak. So yes, of course these countries are going to invade any country they want while their biggest adversary looks weak. Because again, ask yourself, why not? I mean, how can anybody sit back and look at this and not see the game that's being played on them? How deep asleep do you have to be not to see this? That's the scariest part about making these videos. People will say you need to be careful because they're going to come for you. That's not how this works. They no longer take people out. Some people they do when they get far too deep into the rabbit hole, when they have the actual proof, perhaps of them doing dirty deeds with children, they get taken out. But us over here on YouTube that talks about this stuff that they see when it comes to these wars, these puppets, it doesn't matter. We're no threat to nobody because they have their plants out there in full force that will tell us we're just drinking bleach. We're just kooky conspiracy theorists. Me, I'm just currently at the level where they can send a few people to my videos and tell me, you just have your tinfoil hat wrapped too tight. So currently I'm at the point where everything I talk about, it looks like I'm reaching, but anybody with working eyes can see everything that's unfolding in front of them. I'm telling you, this F-35 jet story does not add up. Nothing was working on this jet, not even its transponder, which means it was possibly shut off and the location was scrambled. I mean, look how it looks that the supposedly best military in the world had to get the public involved to look for their missing jet. Once again, not only showing how weak we are, but also showing how weak our radars are that can't pick up this technology. So of course they're going to use that against us, and if anybody says they can't send stealth jets over here, that we'll be able to pick that up. Remember how long it took them to find this Chinese spy balloon and bring it down. So you don't think our enemies, our adversaries, are going to use this technology against us and attack the mainland, possibly leading into that October surprise that happens every election year. This story of this missing F-35 is scarier than you think, and the closer we get to 2030, the more wild things are going to get. But in any case, thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please like, as any engagement does help the channel grow. Once again, thank you so much for your support.